An average man finds himself stuck alone on the moon's space station after asteroids hit Earth. As the only survivor, he searches for ways to cope with his loneliness, unaware that things aren't what they seem. Yu attends a job interview to become an engineer at the moon space station. Despite his average academic records, he explains that he intentionally built himself to be mediocre. The interviewer hires him, not as an engineer, but as maintenance personnel. Soon after, Yu is launched into space. Due to changes in Mars' gravitational pull, one of its asteroids, named Pi, alters course and heads straight for Earth. To prevent disaster, the United Nations creates the Moon Shield Project, UNMS, using the moon as Earth's protective barrier. They reinforce the moon's space station and develop a helium-3 superweapon called the Cosmic Striking Hammer to destroy the asteroid. They also plan to use the moon's gravity to attract remaining debris away from Earth. After 8 years, the UNMS mission succeeds. Earth is declared safe. The crew celebrates and prepares to return home. As everyone gets ready to go back to their normal lives, Yu plans to confess his love to Commander Zheng. He rushes to meet her, captivated by her beauty and excited to be close to her. Overjoyed, Yu heads back to his room, puts on his headphones, and begins jamming to music while preparing his love confession. At the same time, Zheng's right-hand man informs her that a solar storm has knocked the weapon off its course, meaning asteroid debris will now hit the moon in under 30 minutes. Zheng immediately declares an emergency evacuation. As the crew rushes to the shuttles, Yu remains oblivious, writing a love letter and rehearsing his speech, completely missing the emergency alert and footage of rovers heading to safety. Finally, Yu notices the first shuttle launch and dashes to catch up in a rover. With only 7 minutes left, he sees 6 shuttles remain. But 5 of them launch all at once, leaving only 1. With 3 minutes to impact, Yu tries contacting his team, but communication lines are down. Frustrated, he yells at the staff, wondering why no one notices his empty seat. Ironically, the passengers next to his seat sit stiffly with their heads turned away, not realizing he's missing. Determined, Yu drives toward the final shuttle, but crashes into a massive crater. He climbs out desperately, only to watch the last shuttle lift off. Moments later, debris slams into the moon. He runs for his life, hides in a crater, only for a second piece of debris to land right there. Yu is blown away and faints. A huge asteroid fragment narrowly misses him. When he wakes up, he yells in frustration. Trying to stay hopeful, he declares it should be easy to spot him from Earth. Sadly, a massive asteroid hits Earth. From the moon, he watches helplessly as his home planet is destroyed. For 6 days, Yu tries all communication channels to reach Earth, but gets no response. Thankfully, the space station has enough supplies to last a lifetime. Later, he holds a funeral for everyone he believes has died, then vows to fulfill his heart's desires before he dies too. One wish is to visit Zheng's room. He tries inputting her door code, but fails. Eventually, losing patience with the door, Yu uses an explosive to blow it open. He prepares for a date with his beloved, grooming himself and attaching Zheng's photo to a chair. While attempting a romantic gesture, his drink splashes on the photo. He wipes it off and imagines it as a kiss. Unbeknownst to Yu, the UNMS crew is alive and watching him through surveillance from their new headquarters. They turn away awkwardly, while Commander Zheng stands frozen, poker-faced. They check if they can contact Yu, but only video access is available, no audio. Zheng decides to cancel the rescue mission, but Chairman Yang interrupts. The superiors have decided to broadcast Yu's story to the world in 30 days. At a meeting, the chairman reveals Earth's condition. 30% of land is underwater, volcanic gas is spreading into inland cities, and people are suffering from depression, hunger, and disease. Understanding the severity, Zheng tells her staff that the public needs hope. They'll present Yu as a heroic figure. Zhu objects, insisting Yu is far from heroic. Zheng replies they'll dub his voice to craft a positive image. Later, Zheng reads a script and begins the broadcast, telling the world that Yu sacrificed his shuttle seat to save a fellow crewmate. She promises that in 30 days, they'll begin showing live footage of him to inspire hope. As the broadcast begins, desperate survivors tune in. 196 days later, Yu decides it's time to reunite with his beloved, though he complains about his failed suicide attempts, trying both starvation and overeating. He finds a bottle of medicine in the warehouse and goes to get it. At the same time, the live video feed on Earth goes down. The last available voice actor, the flutist, arrives, confident despite being given no script. As he prepares, Yu opens the warehouse and sees a curvy silhouette. He tells the woman there's enough food for both, but that his heart belongs to someone else. He pulls the cloth away, revealing a muscular kangaroo. Just in time, the live camera zooms in on the animal. With no clear instructions, the flutist dubs over the kangaroo, cheerfully greeting everyone. Xing tries to stop the disaster, but it's too late. the whole world hears the kangaroo talk. The broadcast cuts off. Furious, Xing and Zhu report to the chairman. She explains that the research department had left behind a short-tempered kangaroo named King Kong Roo, and that the flutist is actually a social media influencer who does comedic voiceovers. He offers to play a song, but Xing beats him up. They finally agree to narrate the footage instead of dubbing it. Meanwhile, Kong has taken over the warehouse. Yu disguises himself as a female kangaroo to lure him out. It works. Kong tries to mate with him. Yu barely escapes, but not before the kangaroo kicks him. Flutist laughs uncontrollably. Viewers remain glued to the screen, while Xing punches the influencer again. Commander Xing takes responsibility for the blunder and kicks the flutist out. But they're interrupted by another commotion. Yu faces off against Kong with a 3D Gatling gun. Everyone watches in suspense. Just as he seems impressive, the tide turns. Kong reveals his combat skills. At that moment, Kong delivers a final kick. Yu faints. The commander finally contacts him via the comms channel. Yu wakes up and sees people moving on the screen. Though he can't hear them, he cries in relief. He's not alone. Yu tries to negotiate with Kong, offering a high five, but gets punched instead. Later, the two dress in spacesuits to retrieve the broken Apollo 18 spacecraft, which contains an escape pod that could get them back to Earth. UNMS searches for a lunar dog robot to assist Yu, realizing this may be humanity's last hope. Eventually, he repairs the craft. Zhu admires him, surprised someone from maintenance could achieve this. But Shang hands Yu's file to Zhu, revealing he's actually a flight dynamics engineer. On day 282, Yu and Kong venture outside. Yu explains the craft has a weight limit due to its damaged engine. His plan, leave Kong behind and lose weight himself. He speeds ahead on the rover, but soon, Kong has him in a headlock on the way back. Yu suddenly remembers they could use the Asteroid weapon prototype as an engine, but it's a risky plan. He tells Kong to stay, but the kangaroo insists and joins him anyway. Zhu believes it's possible, but reaching the base before sunset is nearly impossible. The transport vehicle is solar-powered, and although a moon day lasts 14 Earth days, it can't travel that far on a single charge. Flutist informs viewers it's a hopeless mission. Yu eventually stops as the sun sets. Zhu notices he's moving west, away from his destination. As the sun rises, Yu reveals his plan, to chase the sun and travel continuously for 41 days. But by day 28, both he and Kong are sleep-deprived, tying a rope between them to wake each other if one falls asleep. After a long, exhausting journey, they finally reach the weapons facility. Yu warns Kong not to touch anything, but too late. The kangaroo presses a button, triggering a countdown. Luckily, it's just for inspection. They return safely. As Yu drives back to base, he doesn't realize the cart carrying the engine has detached. He faces a choice: turn back to retrieve it and risk losing sunlight, or proceed to the base. Yu moves forward while Shang and the others hope he'll return. Yue rants that it's not his fault if Kong dies, but then emotionally drifts back, abandoning all logic. This act earns the approval of everyone. He retrieves the card, opens the door, and Kong licks him gratefully. All data shows they won't make it back. Flutist refuses to give up, and Shang commands everyone to track the vehicle. They rush to excavate the lunar dog, which can supply the batteries needed to return to base. With only 142 hours of sunlight left, Yu drives 53 hours without sleep. But then, the dreaded sunset arrives. The vehicle switches to battery mode, giving them just 5 more hours. Finally, the lunar dog is released to find them. But since the UNMS has switched to power-saving mode, their location can't be tracked. The cabin begins to freeze. Eventually, the battery dies. The vehicle stops 55 kilometers from base. They put on their spacesuits, which last 5 hours outside. Yu volunteers to pilot the lunar dog, needing to jump over a crater to save time. But the lights turn red. It crashes into a cliff, disappointing everyone. Meanwhile, Yu and Kong sit together. Yu, growing emotional, says he doesn't want to become a star after he dies, because he'd be too far from the one he loves. As he reminisces about Shang, he notices Kong isn't beside him. The kangaroo is chasing the reflection of Yu's compact mirror, where Shang's photo is kept. Inspired, Yu creates a sled and uses light to attract Kong into a race. UNMS celebrates, knowing a trained kangaroo can reach 30 kilometers per hour on the moon. Yue panics at first from the speed, but his moon surfing skills pay off. When they reach a cliff, Yu urges Kong forward. The gap is too wide, so Yu removes the cover on nitrogen tanks strapped to Kong's reins, and they successfully leap to the other side. Everyone cheers. Hope is restored. Chang informs him that in 3 months, communication with Yue can resume. Days pass peacefully, and Earth slowly recovers. But unknown to them, a massive Pi-plus asteroid is lurking in space. While Kong and Yu play around, the kangaroo touches broken communication lines, creating static on the monitor. Yu realizes the signal he'd seen earlier wasn't from people, it was just Kong touching the wires. Devastated, he loses hope. Shang pushes for faster ways to contact him and reveal the truth. One day, Yue bids farewell to Kong and prepares a female kangaroo mascot to keep him company. He goes outside and writes his own epitaph, ready to end his life. Meanwhile, Shang broadcasts the truth of Yue's identity to the world. She shares how this moon man brought hope to everyone. People across Earth respond, standing outside with flashlights and glowing lights to show he's not alone. Just as Yue is about to remove his helmet, he sees Earth twinkling with tiny lights for the first time. Overwhelmed, he falls to his knees, crying. Moments later, he returns to base and turns on the communication monitor. For the first time, he sees and hears everyone from UNMS. They tell him he's been live streaming and has millions of viewers. Yue smiles as tears fall. The crowd clears a path so Shang can speak. She simply says, hello, and he softly replies, hi. Days pass, and UNMS helps him repair his craft. Yu is happiest just seeing Shang daily. When the spacecraft is finally ready, Yu grabs the chance to confess. Years ago, he turned down the job, but changed his mind when he saw Shang near the escalator. Shang also confesses. On evacuation day, she saw him running toward the shuttle but couldn't wait. Yu asks if she'd do the same again. She says yes. He responds, that's why I love you. That night, while they sleep, no one notices the radar picking up an incoming asteroid, Pi Plus. The next day, Yu and Kong prepare to leave. With guidance from UNMS, their makeshift spacecraft launches successfully. Everyone celebrates. Yu has now spent 943 days on the moon. But suddenly, Zhu contacts Shang. A debris cloud called Pi Plus is approaching Earth. The chairman declares only one man can save them, Yu, who has the cosmic weapon on board. Shang races back to the control room and orders the live stream cut. Flutus lies, saying there's a signal disruption. Meanwhile, the commander contacts Yu. Excitedly, he mentions the escape pods are fine. But before Shang can tell him the truth, Yu reveals he already knows. He overheard it through his headset. He must manually pilot the craft, since the missile has no engine, and he likely won't return alive. Still, Yu looks toward Earth and says he'll do it to protect the people and the woman he loves. But he makes Shang promise. If he dies, she won't remain a widow. Everyone on Earth is told to go underground. UNMS warns that if Pi Plus hits again, Earth may become irredeemable. Meanwhile, Yu straps in Kong and tells him to enjoy Earth and find a mate. The kangaroo breaks free and joins Yu one last time. As they part ways, Yu enters a meteor shower. Though he maneuvers well, he gets hit, his craft spins out of control. He kicks open a hatch to decompress and regains control. He radios that the missile still works, but the engine is gone. Shang informs him Pi Plus is approaching, but Yu cuts her off. He tells her not to blame herself. She did what she had to. Then, he asks UNMS to redirect his ship toward the asteroid. He requests the live stream be turned back on for his final goodbye. As he detaches the missile to his cockpit, he thanks everyone for staying with him. Yu says he once believed being middle of the road was safest, but now he knows this is his purpose, to stand between Earth and the asteroid. He launches the missile while singing Shang's favorite song. Tears stream from everyone watching, including Shang. As Yu nears the asteroid, his suit begins to crack and disintegrate, but he doesn't look away. Shang's trembling hand reaches for the detonator, but she can't press it. All you can think about are his memories with her. All the missed chances. He gently says, Shang, take me home. The commander presses the button. A massive explosion follows. The asteroid shatters. UNMS stares at the blank screen. On Earth, survivors step outside to see asteroid pieces falling like shooting stars. Kong silently watches. A child asks her brother if they can finally go home, and he says yes, because of the Moon Man. 10 years later, Earth has recovered faster than expected. People work hard to rebuild. A new moon mission begins. Lassie, now the chairman, reminds everyone how important this day is. Flutus brings her lunch, then walks over to Kong, now the mascot of UNMS. But Kong has sneakily swapped Lassie's lunch with his carrot snack. Meanwhile, Shang and Zhu ride the first space shuttle to the moon in a decade. When they arrive, Shang imagines Yu waiting with his wide smile. She walks to Yu's epitaph, stands beside his image, and says, 10 years ago, the debris from Pi Plus stayed in orbit around Earth, forming a planetary ring. Because the Moon Man finally came home. So that's it. Hope you enjoy the story. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more videos.